Greetings. I was asked to give my opinion on what terrorism is and how do I feel about terrorism. Um, I will speak from my perspective, but also I will cite some Quran as well um, for me to make it valid as well. First of all, when we speak about terrorism, I believe that we need to even look at that word a little bit deeper. And people have used that word very loosely. They're using it in a term of if someone may be bullying someone else. And ultimately, true form of terrorism is where any person's is being attacked, in a way where they may be harmful to their health or may make them incapacitated in some way or even ultimately dying. And I think what is happening currently in Syria and in other places is really a result of people not feeling like they're being heard. Um, am I in agreement with the way their approach is or, um, how they're going about it? I do not agree with it because they're, in fact, killing innocent people. But as we know, innocent people have been killed um, in the United States for many, many years. So if we want to talk about historical facts, we can talk about historically Native Americans were killed and burned and their land was taken. And that was taken from people who would later claim this as America. So there's terrorist acts that have happened in many, many forms. And there's a terrorist act that occurred with the slaves. Africans in America did not ask to be brought here. They were brought under a terrorist act, either, killed or put in conditions on a boat and um, coming here for days on end without food or water or necessity. So when we look at it as a whole from a historical perspective, we have to see that all types of people who were religious and non-religious participated in terrorist acts. What's currently happening in Syria, I believe, is um, where if you've lived in a war country your whole life, and America in particular has, you know, created terror in your country, then you may not look at Americans in a very good light. You may not think that Americans are, the land of the free and the home of the brave. You may look at them as they are the terrorists. So, specifically when we're talking about ISIS and what's happening in Syria, ISIS is reading into the text of the Quran where it's saying that if you have been, and this is paraphrasing, if you have been attacked and you've been attacked by a non-believer, then if they concede and don't attack you, then you don't attack them. But after many, many times of being attacked, then you're to attack back. Who in their right mind would not attack back? Okay? And, you know, they're feeling helpless. If we look at it from that perspective, they're feeling helpless. And all of this terrorism in any way, shape, or form, I denounce, and I believe that we need to figure out a better way to resolve this. But America needs to look at its terrorism and how it has encountered terrorism, and been the ones who have dealt out the terrorism. So, and then if we look at Christian, history and with the Crusades. So, I don't have much time to give you a detailed historical lesson, but we all know if you just open up a book and read it, it's pretty much there. And so, what I would ultimately like to see is that all of us can come to some consensus of learning how to live in a peaceful space. This is a wide and spacious land. In our holy book, it talks about that God created male and females so that they may learn one another. So we need to really reevaluate and start looking at, are we really learning each other, or are we just passively being ourselves and not caring what other people are going through? And then lastly, ultimately everyone wants to live and live in a healthy space and live where they can eat and thrive and their families can grow. So my hope is that somewhere, somehow, I don't know if it's this generation, but hopefully the millennials can come up with some kind of, agreement, and true peace treaty where we start treating each other in a lot more diplomatic and more nurturing way. So that's my 2 cents. I pray for all good.